Hey guys, episode 75. Bitcoin is doing great on this Saturday. It's at 69,500. And this episode is why am I doing this? Why am I doing X and YouTube videos and spending so much time on it? And potentially, why should you? Because I'm getting a lot out of it, and I think a lot of people could also get a lot out of it. And so I'm just going to explain a little bit what my intent here is. I started this thing kind of randomly because I thought I had a little bit of insight on the ETF that other people didn't have, coming from the finance background, but also having a Bitcoiner background. But I stayed for a different reason. I stayed because I'm starting to meet all these kind of amazing people and have these great conversations. And, it's really something that like money can't buy, So just a few of the people that I've met online kind of through this, I've, met Giovanni, which crazy Italian professor. I love him. Stephen Paranode, my old friend, who that, I've been talking with sort of on and off, but we really kind of sort of sending each other all this math stuff and power law stuff. This is great. Recently I interviewed Professor Sins. I thought that was super interesting. I was able to ask him questions and learn. And so to me, this is a huge benefit for having any kind of sort of internet presence. And, I don't plan on keeping it for myself. I'm not trying to monetize this. I'm not like some people. I don't have a show. I'm not using this to make money directly. Right? But what I am interested in is learning this to get better insights in terms of my understanding of where Bitcoin's going, and giving me more conviction, and potentially to learn when to sell some of my Bitcoin. I'm not in any hurry to do that, but for example, with Professor Sins, we looked at this MVRB ratio, and he made a pretty compelling case that if you get to kind of 4 on that ratio, you may at least not want to buy Bitcoin so aggressively. So, for those people doing DCA, that's a kind of good metric that I hadn't really looked at before, and I'm learning that, right? So, same thing with like Stephen Paranode and Giovanni, we were looking at kind of optimal Kelly criteria. And, what do you do if you're sort of at 2 standard deviations above the trend line? Probably you should sell a little bit, depending on how long the tax efficiency of that. So maybe you should. And then maybe if we go back to trend line, you buy some more. So I'm not averse to trading. I definitely don't think you should trade very often in Bitcoin. Day trading, absolutely not. Trying to time the market, absolutely not. But, sort of long-term positioning, is very interesting. So, and also I'd say I've met all these other people through spaces that are super interesting. And, Bitcoin Beagle has helped me out a lot on some of my YouTube stuff. I just met a lot of people. And, I'm having dinner with some friends of friends who I probably would not have met if this hadn't happened. And so, there's just a lot of really cool people that you can meet. Doesn't mean you're going to meet thousands of people, hundreds of people, but it's the quality that counts, right? So that's why I'm doing it. If whatever your angle is, that can be a good angle. It does take some effort, and I'm sort of in a position right now where I do have a little bit of time to devote to it. Because some people say, Fred, you must be spending 2-3 hours a day. Yeah, but it's not work, right? It's interesting. It's fun. And it keeps me focused on this stuff. And I like being part of the conversation. So that's it. That's kind of why I'm doing it. And just, if you like my content, please subscribe to my YouTube, because that's really what helps, YouTube generate more views and everything. And then it sort of turns into a virtuous cycle where, I get more views, I can get more people, and we can have some more interesting debates. And I read the comments, so I read every comment on YouTube. And if you have comments, and people have said you have to stop interrupting people. I'm going to try to do that a little bit better. I'm sometimes a little eager when I interrupt people, but there's a lot of really interesting people on Twitter in particular who really, they're not somehow getting listened to. And so I'm very interested in bringing those people out and having long conversations, sort of Lex Friedman style with them. So anyways, that's my rant. And yeah, looks like a good weekend for Bitcoin. Talk to you guys later.